Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Saturday Morning Coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training. As always, I am super excited to be here with you guys this Saturday morning and every Saturday morning. Um, Again, anybody who's watching for the first time, my name is Leon. I'm the head trainer here at Back to Basics Dog Training, and I bring to you this live Q&A session every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Time on my Facebook page, Remember Me Rescues Facebook page, Back to Basics YouTube channel. So you have plenty of ways to get to me and ask me questions. Good morning, Donna. How are you? And how's my Starkey boy doing? Good morning, Michelle. And how's my Athena girl doing? As always, guys, I'm super excited to be here. This week, I'm going to start the conversation until I start seeing questions. And remember, if you're watching now live and in living color or later on in the replay, shoot me a message. Let me know you saw it. Let me know where you watched it from. And, of course, any questions you have, you can ask now live or later on in the replay, and I get to those as soon as I can. But today's topic is, because we have Halloween coming up, and it's a big stressing point for a lot of dogs and a lot of doggy parents. Halloween, we got kids ringing the doorbells. We got, kids in these creepy costumes, and our dogs aren't sure how to interact with them. So I'm just going to give you some advice that I've used over the years, and I've told some of my clients. And you missed last week. You can always catch it on the replay. Definitely watch the replay. Last week, if I remember correctly, it was a real good conversation about dogs protecting their owners. I think that was the main crux of last week's um, Facebook Live, or my live Saturday morning coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training. It was the main subject I was talking about is dogs protecting their humans, taking the job they don't want. Good morning, Joan. How are you? So Halloween is upcoming. It's coming up very quickly. And I probably should approach this subject a while ago so you guys had some time to work on it. So like any of us that cram for test, you guys have some cramming to do before Halloween actually gets up and running. So my suggestion is, one, if you have a dog that is door reactive, be it the knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, seeing people on the streets, whatever, definitely, guys, think of the safety of your dogs. Think of the safety of these kids running around doing the trick-or-treating. Keep your dogs tethered to you on a leash. Keep them tethered. Don't lock them in another room. Don't separate them. Let them learn how to coexist with what goes on in today's world. Big mistake I see a lot of people make at Halloween is they'll lock the dog into another room of the house. It's easier to deal with. It really is. And I understand it is, but that's never teaching the dog how to properly respond to the knock on the door, on the trick or treat, give me my damn candy. So you definitely want to keep your dog with you. And in the week leading up to Halloween, what I would suggest doing is definitely doing some threshold management with the dogs for the sound of the doorbell and the knocking on the door. And how can you do that? Use your family members, use a neighbor, use somebody that can go to your front door and knock on the door, ring the doorbell. And don't open the door until your dog is calm. And it should be at zero calm, guys. This way, they'll start learning and associating the sound of the knock, or the ding dong, or the ring sound, or whatever the hell it is, represents calm, and this is the new way of acting at the door. I'm actually going to be working with a dog later today who's a reactive dog on a leash at a dog park situation, and I am going to work on threshold management to bring the dog hopefully into the dog park, and my wife's coming with me, so I'm going to hopefully get that on videotape now that I'm thinking about it, so that may not be a bad thing, because we're going to bring the dog who is reactive to other dogs to a dog park, and we're not going to go into the dog park until the dog is at zero calm. It changes its mindset before it gets into the park, makes it easier for him to coexist in the park. How it's going to go, I don't know. We're going to record it. Hopefully we get it on video, and whatever it is, I'll post it out there because it's real world. Anybody who's been following me on this platform or any of my customers know me. I'm real. I'm transparent. I tell you what it is. I'll show you what it is. There are successes in life, and then sometimes there's not so much successes. I'm hoping today will be a success, but each dog's an individual, so I don't know how it's going to go until we try it. But what I'm going to try to do, and I'm going to do on this, is actually, I think, record it for you guys to see the process. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, means we got more work to do, but that's real. Some dogs get it real quick. I did it with one dog on Long Island at a dog park that was very reactive, and it was successful within minutes. I've done it with other dogs that not so much. So each dog is an individual. Um, so you can start this process today for Halloween. So what you can do is you send your significant other, kid, relative, neighbor, whatever, just to the front door. Knock on the front door. Dog's gonna go back crap crazy. That's what most dogs do. And what you want to do is put the dog on a leash and disagree. Nope, that you're not allowed to do that anymore. You're not allowed to go crazy when somebody knocks on the door or rings the doorbell. Give them a job, tell them to sit, and when they're calm, start the process of opening the door. Anybody who's watching my YouTube videos, and I know Donna has on threshold management, it's the same theory as going for the walk, the threshold. It's just now it's just somebody at the door instead of us going out the door. Um, but you need to represent that threshold, that front door, as a calm zone. If we don't do that, we set our dogs up for failure. They'll jump on the little kids. They'll jump on somebody. They'll, God forbid, out of excitement, nip somebody or grab a piece of somebody's costume, and tear it, or whatever, knock somebody down. So, but you can represent that threshold as being a calm zone, and it should, for every single dog, for every phase of their life, represent calm. You know, Somebody knocks on my door here, Zoe gets excited. She hears the door. Somebody's here, yay! They're here to see her in her mind, and I make her go someplace, sit down, and relax. And she's not allowed to greet them at the door until she's calm. Because she can inadvertently hurt somebody. She doesn't have a vicious bone in her body, but if she jumps on the wrong person, it can hurt somebody. Um, so you want to take due diligence. I do suggest, because this is a new thing for a lot of people, Halloween Day, keep the dog tethered to somebody on a leash and do the work. Athena never used to bark at the doorbell, and now she barks when she hears a doorbell on TV. I don't know what changed. I don't know what changed either, and that goes to that thing. That question why? I'm not a big fan of the question why. We don't like the behavior, disagree with it, and teach her another way to react to the thing. And what I suggest doing is another thing you guys can do is download on YouTube or whatever sounds of doorbells. Play them on your phone, play them on your speakers in your house, and same thing as if on TV. It's inanimate; it's not really there, but the dog doesn't understand it. So you play the sound. Athena goes crazy. Nope, and praise her or give her her treat reward when she's in that calm state of mind. Remember, guys, we're always going back to a calm state of mind. We have to go back to a calm state of mind because that's what the dogs are going to learn the best. It's no different than teaching us. If if a child's in a hyper state of mind, bouncing off the walls, blah 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 blah, you can't get through to them. They have to be calm. So you can't praise or do anything until they're in that calm state of mind. I guess she learned that from the sound. Means new people. Unfortunately, she loves people. Yeah, but you're not disagreeing with her love of people. What we're disagreeing with is the reaction to the sound. And you're allowed to do that. It's no different than what I do when I desensitize dogs to the thunder sounds or the fireworks sounds. I have to play the sounds to teach them they can coexist with the sound without the fear or the anxiety caused by the sound. It's the same theory with a doorbell or a knock on the door. But you have to do these exercises a million times. Um, and the more you can practice, the more you can do this, and the more and the more and the more, the quicker the process goes, and the dogs will get it. But you have to work on it. I know Donna did this with Stark because she was telling me that she had some workers in the house not a couple months ago, probably now, and she worked on those workers in the house represented calm, and Stark had to stay calm. So remember, guys, we're always going back to the same state of mind. If we don't go back to the calm, how can we ever teach the dogs to go back to a state of calm? And it's real important that we do. I'm going to use another case. This week I had a great conversation with somebody. I'm not going to get into a lot of details because it's kind of personal, but they suffered a tragedy in their lives. It was witnessed in front of the dogs, in front of the family and all that. And the dogs, the older dog that was there when the tragedy happened, kind of reacts to different sounds now. And Donna says, we continue to work on it. This is really going to be a work in progress. Absolutely. Everything that's worth doing, guys, is a work in progress. It's continual. It's continuous training. I tell you all the time, I work with Zoe day in, day out. I walk with her. I set different rules for her on the walk. There's times I take her off leash and she has to heel. She's not allowed to do anything else but heel when she's off leash. And I do it sometimes with distractions and sometimes without distractions. I do that where I'm walking with her off leash and I stop. She has to stop. It's continuous training. Anything. Good morning, Jenna. How are you? Anything that's worth achieving is worth putting the effort into. So if it's really important to you to not have your dog react at the door, you got to put the effort in to teach them what you want. But again, they're going to get excited. Dogs are excited by nature, guys. They're goofballs. But in our world, that excitement can get them into a lot of trouble. So what you want to do is teach them that it's not okay to get excited on their own. When I ask Zoe to get excited because I want to play with her, that's different. If I take her to the dog park and she's playing with other dogs, that's okay because I brought her there. I brought her to the dog park in a calm state of mind. So when she goes into the dog park, things are a lot more calmer. I don't know. I can't think of the word I was thinking of. But everything what I do with Zoe starts with calm. We go for a walk, front door, calm. We go down the stairs, calm. She doesn't drag me down a flight of stairs or two flights of stairs or whatever. We get to the threshold of the building. We walk out calmly so I can check the surroundings, make sure there's no dog that, because there's certain dogs here I don't want her associating with. So I do a quick perimeter scan. But everything is based on calm. And when I take her off the leash, she's calm. I don't take her off the leash when we're walking her when she's in that sniffing mode and trying to find something because a critter walked by, because then it's too hard to get her back to focusing on me because I have to be the most relevant thing in her life, or who, my wife or my daughters, whoever was working with her at that time. Athena has been lunging on top of me in the middle of the night if she wakes up and scratches my forehead the other night. She's very excited and I have to wrestle her to get her to stop. Do I have to stop sleeping with her, or is there another way to stop this behavior? One, yeah, I would say stop sleeping with her because she hasn't earned that privilege. She still thinks she's allowed to do this on her own, and she's not allowed to. Or the other thing is, and I know it's hard because you're sleeping and you want to just be left alone at that point, you use the e-collar, keep the e-collar next to the bedstand. She does it, nope, off. And then she loses the privilege. But you got to get her to stop the behavior. So her discipline, her punishment, whatever word you want to put on it, if she jumps on the bed in excited mode, nope, off. And now she lost the privilege for the night. Put her back. Don't put her in the crate if you're angry, but you can put her in the crate if everybody's calm. And then she has to stay there and she has to earn the privilege to try it again another night. But you have to make her earn the privilege to be able to sleep with you. Simple. But you definitely want to stop that behavior because she's a big girl. She jumps on you, she can hurt you. But for whatever reason, this is now triggering an excited thing. She jumps on you, and then you wrestle with her. So you're playing her game. She's controlling it, though. Like I said, when I play with Zoe, I initiate the play, and we wrestle, and she beats the crap out of me most of the time. But I initiate the play, and when I'm done with play, we go back to calm. And it's a process that I've worked on for 8 years with her. This way she understands the rules. She behaves better with the e-collar, but I figured that she has it on all day. I wanted to give her a break at night. Well, she hasn't earned the break yet. I mean, you do have to take it off eventually to charge her, but if that's the case, do it. And then when she doesn't jump on the bed, you can invite her up when she's in a calm state of mind. So she's learning, oh, I get to be on the bed when I'm calm. Same way I condition Zoe when she gets in my car. She's got her harness on, she's seatbelted in, but she knows she's supposed to lay down in the car. That's the conditioning I gave her. So the car to her represents, okay, I lay down and go to sleep. Same thing when she comes in bed at night. She comes in, she jumps in the bed. She knows she lays down right away. She's not allowed to bug me for affection or attention at that time. We're going to bed. But one, she's invited into bed. She doesn't go in there without being invited. And two, these are the rules that we set for her. Sometimes she'll go to my wife's side and cuddle with my wife. Sometimes she'll stay down by our feet. Most of the time, she's right by my legs in between us. But she's calm and she's not looking for affection at that point. She knows it's night time. But that's over years of working with her, setting the rules that I expected and I wanted from her, and she gets it. This, it's just continual work, because I believe, like anything else, you got to continually do it in order for the dog to understand what you want from them. Don't forget, guys, anything you're asking your dog to do is not natural. It's not nature. Healing with us is not nature. Sitting on command is not natural. Laying down, behaving, those aren't natural things for a dog. They're wild animals. You want them to coexist with you, you got to teach them, and you got to take the time to teach them. And since every dog is an individual, it's consistency, consist day in, day out, day until they're what in the human world we call bulletproof. And I don't believe any dog is ever bulletproof, because they're going to make mistakes. So you just go with it and you teach them every single time. So going back to the story I was telling you about this dog, this stuff. So one of the dogs, the mother dog, because it's actually the mother of the puppy she has now, is now afraid of certain sounds, and that actually triggers the puppy to react differently. And because of whatever this tragedy was these people suffered, the puppy came in after the fact, but the energy in the house was not where the puppy needed it to be. When the noise happened, everybody babied the mother dog. And the puppy is seeing this, and at about that 7-8 month age, where dogs are starting to mature a little bit and trying to figure out where they stand in the pack, all of a sudden the dog decided, I need to protect my human against the puppy's mother dog that lives in the house. And now the dogs are getting into constant fights and disagreements, because the puppy is taking the role of the protector, the pack leader, but it shouldn't, it can't, it doesn't know how to. And this is a little bit harder for me, because I got to get through to them to understand that, one, if the dog's into a fight, you can't rush in at 7,000 miles an hour. You gotta go in calmly, because if you go in at 7,000 miles an hour, the dogs just get more agitated because they're feeding off your energy. And they actually texted me the other night saying the dogs got into another disagreement, and they stayed calm breaking up the fight. They held both dogs until both dogs were calm, and the mother dog actually went over to the puppy and started licking it, because I don't know if it got hurt or whatever, but because they follow through all the way. We stop the dogs from doing these certain behaviors. I don't care what the behavior is. They can be fighting. They could be chasing the squirrel. They can be, destroying their toy, destroying your arm because they're playing with you. And we stop that behavior. But if we don't stop the mind, you didn't stop anything. And you guys have heard me talk that the follow through to get back to that calm state of mind is the crucial thing. And if you don't go all the way through and take the time and wait them out, you're not doing anything to help the dog, to teach the dog, to help you. And that's what I'm hoping today when we go to the dog park, I'm going to be able to show, because this dog is going to be a little batty when he sees the other dogs. Hopefully there'll be dogs in the dog park. We're not going to go into the dog park until he is calm. And I'm going to wait him out. We're going to take the time to wait him out with all the distractions on the other side of the fence and all this other nonsense. And Michelle, I think this will help you with Athena to understand it. I mean, this isn't a big dog like Athena, but it's the same theory. We're going to take the time to do this. And hopefully by the end of the session, we're going to have this dog in the dog park off leash, coexisting with other dogs. Remember, the dog park is not a physical thing. It's a socialization type of thing, and that should be based on calm. Yes, the dogs are going to play. And what we're going to do, if we do get into the dog park with this dog today, is I'm going to keep a very close eye on it. I'm going to follow it around as close as I can. And anytime I start seeing that excitement level get to a point where I'm not comfortable, leash goes on, we take the dog out, we start the process over again. So hopefully what it will teach this dog is that the only way to be in this park is staying in that calm state of mind. You lose that calm state of mind that I'm looking for. We come out, we regroup, we start over, and we go back in, and we do this until this dog understands it. And it's truly, truly a labor of love. Nobody wants to take the time. And like I said, there was a Jack Russell Terrier that I worked with on Long Island that I did this with, and anybody knows Jack Russells, they're wacky dogs. I think it literally took me 5 minutes to get this dog into the dog park to coexist with Zoe because there was no other dogs there. But Zoe's a very good judge of energy, and Zoe was playing with it. I got the videos to show. I think I posted it somewhere, showing Zoe playing with this dog, and the dog who everybody thought was aggressive was just misunderstood. It was overly excited, but that excitement in a dog park situation with other dogs could turn into a bad thing because most dogs, if they're balanced dogs, say, "Hey, that excitement is not cool. You're going to bounce into me one time too hard, and we're going to go at it." Same as kids, though, no different. So it's real, real important that everything we do when we're working with our dogs, and I don't care if you're running around your yard, letting them chase you, playing soccer with them, whatever, when you end those exercises, your job is to bring the dog down to a zero state of calm. And you'll see a transition in the dog. Donna, I know we did this with Stark. Stark was overly excited. We worked on it and we broke that excitement pattern where he's not allowed to get excited on his own. When you guys play with him, that's a different story. Going out into the backyard for Stark was holy crap. Wow, let's go. There's squirrels, there's things. I can run around like an idiot. Within a very short period of time, you sent me a great video of him with threshold management, just sitting there waiting for a release command. And you guys became, I think Brian was working with him at the time. He became the focus point, not the squirrel running along the fence line was no longer the focal point. The human was the focal point. But you got to start the process. And the beauty of it is, guys, I don't care if it's a 4-month-old puppy or a 4-year-old dog or an 8-year-old dog, you can start today. And your dog will be happier about it. It's when you see the transition where all of a sudden you start disagreeing with some of these unwanted behaviors. Remember, they're not bad behaviors; they're unwanted because we just never taught them. And you take the time and you listen to the words that I say. Listen to what I talk about with the energy and the calmer energy, and you start seeing that transformation of your dog. It's a beautiful thing to witness. Like I said, one of the best compliments, and Donna, I know I'm picking on you a lot today. One of the best compliments I got from Donna was very shortly after we started the training process with the threshold management and walking him on a leash, was she had a really crappy day at work. And her highlight of her day was walking Stark. And before we started the training process, that wasn't a highlight of her day, walking Stark. That was a chore. That was a pain in the ass. But after a hard day at work, she actually looked forward to coming home to walk her dog because that was her Zen time. Stark does look for rules, and I know what treats do. But Stark actually, and all dogs look for rules. Guys, dogs are dogs, and they're no different than kids. Kids look for rules. They may not admit it. As humans, we don't admit a lot of crap, but we need the rules. You need certain rules to keep us in the society we're in and coexist in the society we're in. We need them. We have rules at work. We have rules in our family lives. We have rules when we're in the supermarket. We have rules everywhere we go in life. And we need the rules. The rules create the structure and the boundaries that we need. Dogs who are more instinctual, more I can't think of the word right now. They need the structure. A pack of animals is a structured thing. I mean, I always say, go back to the Lion King. Look at it. Watch Lion King. It's a cartoon, but there's a structure involved in the Lion King. The structure and everything we do in our lives. Animals need that structure that they would get from their own in the wild. Well, we chose to take dogs out of the wild. We domesticated them. We need to keep setting the rules that we expect them to coexist. You know, I get tired on Facebook, looking at Facebook, and seeing my dog got out. There was a post this morning, and I gave it an amen. Um, Having a dog is a lifelong commitment. As long as that dog is alive, you choose to get this dog. It's a commitment you make for life. How many times do you see my dog got out? I'm moving. I have to rehome my dog because the place I'm going doesn't. We moved. We made sure every place we looked at accepted pets. If they didn't, we looked at another place. I don't understand this whole concept. Or I have a baby, I have to get rid of my dog. That doesn't work in my world. And the problem with these, especially nowadays generation, is they got the dogs, they treated the dogs like their babies instead of treating them like dogs. And now the real baby comes in, and the dog's saying, well, where's all this attention that I was getting? This thing took it away. And that's a problem. And then we have to get rid of the dog. And no, nobody ever taught the dog what to do. And that's not fair to the dog. Same thing I've been seeing a lot recently, and I've been getting some phone calls on it. The pandemic dogs, I call them, that people got during the pandemic when we were all working at home. And there was absolutely no structure set for a lot of these puppies. We're home. We can take them out a million times. We don't have to have them in the crate because we're home, whatever. Now I'm getting calls, dog a year and a half, whatever, that's still not housebroken. Well, nobody ever taught them. Don't yell at the dog. It ain't the damn dog's fault. Nobody ever taught them to hold it in. Oh, we're home. Well, let the dog out every 15 minutes. Well, that's like having a doggy door and letting the dog go in and out and peeing and pooping whenever they get the urge. Then you move to a place you don't have a doggy door and they don't know to hold it and they go in there. But the dog's been good for 10 years. No, it hasn't. It just knew, well, I had access to the outside. I feel a little bit of pressure. I can go outside. I relieve myself. I'm fine. Now we have a place where they don't have that ability. And this is what happens because they were never properly trained or conditioned to do what you asked them to do. Donna says, I never thought I would have ever sent a text like that to you. But that was one of the best texts I've received in a long time. Because that changed everything in your mind and in my, in Stark's mind. Because when he walked with you that day, he was like, oh my God, look how happy my mom is. This is all I need to do to get that treat, mommy being happy. And that's what it's about. That's why, I say you can use treats. I still believe the best treat is your energy. If you're happy with the way your dog is behaving, that's their treat. They're going to know it. They don't necessarily need to get a food treat or, that type of stuff. The other thing I did want to say about Halloween, guys, I know a lot of people leave candy, on a table by the door. Always, especially people with newer dogs, be careful with that. We don't want the dog to think it's for them. So if you have a dog that has a tendency to steal things, and I'm talking more puppyish usually, don't put that candy where the dogs can get it, please. There's a lot of that stuff that's bad for us, so definitely we know it's bad for them. That artificial sweetener or whatever the hell it's called that's in this stuff is deadly to dogs. Chocolate is definitely not good for dogs. There's a lot of crap that we shouldn't put in our bodies that can kill a dog. So if you have a dog that has a tendency to steal things, please keep the candy out of reach. If you're the type of person that puts a bowl of candy out for the kids, which is great, and hopefully you have kids in the neighborhood that respect it and only take one piece. If you have a neighborhood with a lot of dogs, stray dogs or off-leash dogs, don't put the bowl of candy outside. It's not fair to the dogs that, their owners don't pay attention to them, let them run around the neighborhood. They get into the bowl of candy you have there, and then we find, unfortunately, sick or dying dogs because of it. So, Halloween is a very stressful thing. The other thing I'm going to say, and this is just from a personal note, if you're going to dress your dog up for Halloween, you're doing that for you, not for your dog. If you're going to dress your dog up for Halloween, let your dog have time to be a dog, which is run around, roll around in the dirt, in the mud, or whatever. Let the dog have some time to be a dog. Putting the costume on makes us feel good. Look how cute they are. It isn't for the dog. Most dogs tolerate us doing it. My granddogs tolerate my kids doing it with them because they're good dogs. But putting that costume on them is not for them. It's for my daughter loves it. She thinks it's adorable, and that's fine. And then she'll give the dogs time to be dogs, which is run around the backyard, roll around in the dirt, and have fun. So, guys, if there's no other questions, we're at that magic half hour mark. I said this last week. I'm still trying to work out the final details on my animal talk with Back to Basics, which I usually do either Tuesdays or Thursday nights, either every other week or once a month. The next one I'm going to be hosting, just trying to work out details. Hopefully, I'll get some of those worked out tomorrow with my phone call. Will be with an elder care lawyer that's going to teach us how to properly set our dogs up in the event of us passing, how to make sure they're taken care of, how to write, the wills or whatever it is, so we are prepared to take care of our dogs in the event of our passing. Financially, where they're going to go, who's going to take them. Most of the reason family members don't take dogs is because it's a financial burden to them. In today's world, that's a big thing. There's vet bills, there's food, there's a lot of things, grooming that goes into it. So a lot of people may not be able to afford to take mom and dad's dogs. So what this elder care lawyer is going to teach us is how to financially set aside for the dogs in the event of our passing. So it's going to be a really interesting conversation. I really want to make sure we do this right to get the word out to people. Of course, I'll post it out on my Facebook page once I get the final details when I'm going to go live with it. That's something I do believe. Once you guys who are on my Facebook page or on Remember Me Rescue's Facebook page, once you see me post it, start sharing that around the world, man, because this can help so many dogs, help maybe free up our shelters. Y'all on Facebook, how many times do you see, so and so passed away? We need a foster or the dog's going to go to the shelter, or the dog's going to be euthanized, because people don't think about these things. And if anything that 2020, 21 has taught us is you never know what tomorrow is. So let's prepare for tomorrow today. And that's what this conversation is going to be about. This is going to be, it's a sad conversation because nobody wants to have it, but let's think about what we can do to help our dogs in the event of our passing. So I think it's going to be really interesting. What do you guys who are watching think? Do you think it's a great thing to talk about? Let me know in the comments. Anybody watching on the replay, let me know. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to put my normal caption up here, if I can find it. I do truly believe this saying that, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Thank you, Jenna. And guys, for my animal talk, we're back to basics. If you have any suggestions that you would like me to discuss it doesn't necessarily have to be about dogs. It's animal talk. I'm going to try to get some vets involved in this. I've already talked to rescue groups. I've talked to horse rescue groups. I've talked to people that work with special needs people using animals as therapy. I'm trying to get in touch with a wildlife rescue to maybe deal with something other than dog rescue, talk about other animals that need to be rescued and what we can do as a society to help them. So, this saying is together we can help one dog and one family at a time, but I do believe we can help one animal at a time too. It doesn't matter if it's dog or not. So with that being said, guys, as always, thank you for inviting me to your homes this Saturday morning and every Saturday morning for Coffee with Back to Basics dog training. Stay healthy, stay safe, God bless, and remember, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Yes, I'm afraid nobody would want to take Athena, or should something happen. Might be a great idea to discuss this with this community. Yeah, Jenna, I was wrapping up, but Jenna, once I get this thing posted, I know Sun City has their own Facebook group. I'm not part of it. Matter of fact, you did send me the link. I got to find it and maybe get part of it. But if you can share this in Sun City, it's a 55 or older community. It would be a great thing to try to get those people there. Maybe we can do some sort of advertisement. I don't know. We can talk about it. Maybe after my phone call tomorrow, I'll come by and visit you and Al, and we can discuss it, how to get it out to the people there, because I think it's important that we discuss this, and I'm excited to bring it to you guys. Just another way that Back to Basics dog training can help, help one animal, one dog, or whatever at a time, and help one family at a time. It's real important to me. That's my life mission now. But again, guys, I don't want to tie up your weekend. Hopefully you're having a beautiful weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Again, thank you for inviting me to your house, into your homes every Saturday morning. And remember, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys.